morning, it's Doug for Vermont Hoyas, and welcome to a visit with myself and Hoya hamiltoniorum. And we'll also take a look at the few Hoyas that I have in the dining room and just take a peek at a couple other things while we're at it. So let's take a look at this hamiltoniorum. I finally have a plant nice enough to show off. Probably about 18 months ago, maybe, I flowered this thing for the first time with a single flower, and it was so embarrassing that I really couldn't bring that to you in a video. So I now have a gorgeous looking plant, a beautiful specimen. It's flowering on multiple peduncles, so I think I can bring it to you. This is a Hoya that's featured prominently in this book, A Guide to the Hoyas of Borneo, which is long out of print, one of the best Hoya books that I have ever come across. If you can ever find this in a used bookstore or whatever, I urge you to pick it up. So I'm going to read directly to you from this book on hamiltoniorum. Its distribution and habitat is only known from the central and southern Crocker Range in Sabah at 600 to 1200 meters in hill and lower montane forests on sandstone soils. This species is distinct in having bifid coronal lobes and a hairy ovary. This species was named in honor of John and Gina Hamilton, residents in Sabah for many years and keen growers of Borneo Hoya species. You can take a look at the people that the Hoya is named for, and there's the pages of the book. So let me tell you about my experiences with this. I initially had a very tough time getting this Hoya growing. I had to start it over a couple different times. Finally, last summer, it started growing well. And then after I sprayed this plant with sulfur for flat mites, which are still invisible to me, I have yet at this date ever been able to see one with a microscope or whatever. So, but I was told that I definitely had them. But anyway, after spraying the sulfur, whether they killed the flat mites or it was a massive dose of needed fertilizer, this plant started to grow like crazy and finally actually budded up on multiple peduncles. Let's take a look at the flowers. It's a very difficult to photograph or show these flowers because of the nature of them. I actually had to tie a couple leaves out of the way. There you go. There's some of the flowers right there, but they tend to droop straight down in back of leaves. They're very hidden. So one of the worst toys I've ever seen as far as showing off a floral display. Let's spin this thing around. You can see in here, there's a bunch of buds. I don't know if you can make that out. Buds and a couple flowers opening. Also, the flowers annoyingly do not open all at once, but over a long period of time. So this plant probably would not be grown for the flowers. They have a scent, but it's not overly strong. It's kind of different. It's not unpleasant. The leaves are pubescent, very soft and furry, so that may be the best feature of this plant. Take a look here. There's another peduncle full of flowers. There's more down here hidden inside of the pot. But like I say, very difficult to photograph or show off the flowers. It's like it wants to hide. But you can see it's grown in a clear orchid pot with a mixture of coconut husk chips and large perlite. That's the only thing that's in here, and that seems to be an excellent medium for this plant. So let's move on here. I just want to show you a couple of plants in the dining room and the results of a spraying in sulfur. This is a few months later. The sulfur's long been washed off. But I'm starting to rethink some of my thoughts about keeping Hoyas upstairs in the main house. Here is Allegensis. It's so big and it just grows so strongly that I'm gonna have to do something else with it. I can't keep the thing under control. Now over here we have Hoya australis lisa, which I call my biggest probably maybe the tallest, biggest Hoya that I have. It's just absolutely insane. It's probably almost 4 feet tall from the bottom of the pot to the top of the plant. And you can see there's going to be a massive floral display. The thing is just covered in buds. Just a crazy plant. It's finally gotten to the point where I don't think I can let it get any bigger. And it's a sad day when I have to eventually lose these Hoyas because they're just simply too big to deal with. But that sure is a gorgeous specimen. And over here we have Hoya vitalinoides. Now this plant never stopped growing all winter long. Usually it's dead in the winter and goes into hibernation. Nothing happens. And after it was sprayed with sulfur, I got several new leaves. There's still multiple growth points on it. This is just very unusual. Look at these new leaves. Just gorgeous. This is one of my favorite Hoyas of all time. You can see how massive the plant is. It probably weighs 25 pounds, 25 to 30 pounds. Very, very heavy. It's in a ceramic pot too, so difficult to move this Hoya around. Hoya australis, subspecies aramicola. Also has new growth on it. This has never grown before this time of the year. I've always blamed it on humidity issues, but now I'm thinking it must have been flat mite issues, because after these plants upstairs just had a single spraying with sulfur that stayed on for probably 6 to 8 weeks. Then it got washed off, but it seemed to have done the trick. At least it got them under control. Whether or not it got all of them, I don't know. But the plants all have growth. While I'm here, I'm just going to take a quick peek around here into the living room. We have a cat sleeping. I just wanted to show this Hoya McGillrayi, which has no supplemental light. It's virtually dark in this window all year long. And look at this, 4 giant buds getting ready to open. This has only happened to me once before. With a single bud. I've grown McGillrayi for years and had huge floral displays, but it's always done in tents under grow lights. But this time here, 0 artificial aids, and I'm still going to get 4 flowers. Pretty spectacular. I'll just stand back. I'm not going to go through all these Hoyas. The lighting is not good, but the Hoyas upstairs. Oh, I just wanted to show off this polystachya, which is now called Hoya latifolia. You won't be able to see the lights very good, but this plant, I've always sworn, needs extreme humidity in order to grow. Well, after spraying with sulfur, I got several new leaves, and it still has a couple of growth points. All those leaves on the top are new, and they grew all winter long in the house in a virtually dark window. This window is like kind of northwest, and it gets 0 sunlight until about April through September. There's strong sun in the afternoon, but other than that, the other months of the year, no sun at all. So not the ideal place to grow Hoyas. See this linearis, I'm really proud of that. I finally have a beautiful specimen linearis, grew that from cuttings. And that's about all I've got to say today. We'll go back, let's take one more look at hamiltoniorum. And there you have it. Well, I thank you for taking the time and looking at a few Hoyas with me and appreciating Hoya hamiltoniorum, and I'll be back really soon with more great Hoyas and Hoya growing tips.